If you own a Tesla Powerwall, you probably try to check multiple times battery degradation percentage, like over time. Is it 80%? Is it 90%? But you go through the app and you can spend like, I don't know, as much time as you want. You cannot find single stat for battery degradation. And the only way to access it is actually through internal APIs. And if you're not very tech savvy, let me just quickly show you how to access that data. Basically, you go to your distribution panel for Tesla. My battery is behind that wall. Open it up, and in here, pay attention to this sticker. And basically in here you have serial number and password. Password is for Wi-Fi access and for actually API. The last 5 characters will be API access password. Best just take a picture of this and then go back to your computer. Once you're at the computer, what we're gonna do is we're gonna utilize pypowerwall. It's an open source tool on GitHub, and basically I encourage you to read through the docs what you can do with it, but I'll just show you quick examples how to get started real quick. And there are examples what kind of data you can get out. It's pretty thorough, like you can get everything you need from Powerwall. And so to get started, first of all, don't connect to the Tesla Powerwall yet. Be on your Wi-Fi because we need to install a bunch of packages and stuff. Okay, one of the prerequisites is that you have Python on your machine. You can just install how to install Python on Mac or Windows. It's whatever you have, yeah, basically. And we also need Git on Mac or Windows, whatever you have. If you're completely clueless about all this stuff, it just FYI, basically. So those two are, I'm not gonna go into details how to install. You have to figure out on your own. Anyway, so what you're gonna do is we're gonna copy the repository, we're gonna clone it. And so you just do clone it. Go into the repository, it's going to be pypowerwall repository, and this is by default what comes with it. And in the example provided, it's not really clear. I'll just show you. Much easier to actually just go back to your pypowerwall GitHub page, and in here you have example. Programming with Powerwall, and so you just copy the whole thing. I'd suggest just open in some kind of code editor, so just code, VS Code in my case. And in here, so we're gonna create a new file, my test.py. Paste the example that we just copied, and as you can see, it complains about indentation, the spacing between the commands and stuff. So we just select everything and then do command open square bracket on Mac. It moves everything 1 tab left. Save this, command S to save. And now in here, first of all, you see these options, option 1, 2, and 3. So comment everything except option 1. If you don't comment, it's not gonna work. It's gonna throw you a bunch of errors. You can waste a lot of time not to figure out what's actually causing it. And in here, so password, in here we insert password the last 5 characters from the control panel, Tesla control panel. So in my case, it's, let's say, this. So just remember, it's last 5, not the whole thing. It's just last 5 characters. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 characters. See, it's exactly 5, not 8. and email you can leave whatever, doesn't matter. And for the IP address, most likely it's gonna be 192.168.91.1. But I'll show you how to check what IP you're gonna get from your Powerwall. In Australia, most likely that's what you're gonna get, because all the Powerwalls, I think, are supplied with mobile data, and so it has like connected to your Wi-Fi, but it also connected to some kind of mobile provider. So the routing is kind of tricky. You cannot really make it easy just to add static route, because you can add it on your system at home, so it points to the Powerwall, but then Powerwall has its own route to some mobile provider, so it sends everything that way, and in the end, basically everything's black holed. You can't really get proper route. But it might be just my case. You can tinker around and see if it works for you. Anyway, so save this. Yeah, we don't need anything else. I'll open you the terminal. So now, yes, my test, we have this file, and before we do anything, actually, before we connect to the Powerwall, there's a bunch of stuff we need to install. We could just copy the whole thing. I'll post it in there. Yeah, otherwise we spend too much time doing little things, trying to troubleshoot. Just paste the whole thing. All right. We are in our virtual environment, my env1. We can try to run python 3 my-test.py, and it should give some kind of error because we cannot connect since we are not on that Wi-Fi. Okay, so this is expected. We are not connected basically. So now on your Wi-Fi, just go to your Wi-Fi, and the Tesla Powerwall SSID will be TEG dash last 3 digits of the serial number or something like that. But basically it's going to be one of the TEGs. If you don't have any neighbors with Powerwall, it's just going to be one. So select that and type the whole password, whatever in the panel. You can actually check what kind of IP address you have. So just hover your cursor on the Wi-Fi icon and click option left button, and you can see the IP address of the router. Your router in this case is actually the Tesla Powerwall itself, because the Powerwall is providing IP for you right now. So it's 91.1. That's the address we need to query, and that's what we put in a config, example config. And so if you run it again, we got a whole bunch of stuff from the internal Tesla Powerwall APIs. I'm gonna kind of remove all of these sensitive parts, but you can see, for example, all the power metrics and stuff, but by default the example does not provide the system status, I think. Yeah, so we're gonna edit the file, just one quick edit in here, home power. I'll just copy paste. Yeah, I'll add it to the comments as well, so you don't have to dig around. This is the one we want to print. System status, system underscore status. So that's the metric that will, and command save the file. It's basically documented in system status. This one, return the system status of the Powerwall. You can also go into battery blocks and stuff, but I think it's all duplication, so this is the one you want to look at. So once we save the file, you can run it again, and now we got a whole bunch of more data, system status. So the one you're actually very interested in is nominal full pack energy. This is the metric you're looking for. Basically, when they just installed fresh, they replaced me maybe 2 months ago, it was 15,000 something, I don't know how they calculate this number, because advertised capacity is actually 13.5 kilowatt for the Powerwall 2, but somehow this number was 15. But so don't get mixed up. So this is full pack energy, basically what the current total capacity of the battery, not the charged. Remaining means how much charged. So right now it's 12 kilowatt charged, but the actual capacity is 14.6. And the way you calculate this, I'll just show in my example what it was. So maybe after 5 years, my nominal full pack energy was 9.4 kilowatt. And then at this point, I reached out to Tesla support asking for warranty. And I don't know how they calculate, so I just used 14 kilowatt in my calculation, but even though I advertised is 13.5, regardless, yeah, it's safer to use 14. And if you use 14 kilowatt and what's remaining 9.4, and it was just below 70% capacity after 5 years, so it qualifies for warranty. And once they replaced it, the new one was 15 kilowatt, even though the actual capacity is 13.5. So there is some kind of usable and non-usable power of the Powerwall. But once it's freshed, yeah, you get this number. And after a few months, they replaced it, actually dropped to this number. And it always changes. So every day it might go up and down by like 200, 300 watts. So better check multiple times before you raise a Tesla case, because they're going to look on their side at the moment you raise a request, and if it's not matching, yeah, they're going to just say, hey, it's still within a threshold. And the warranty is 70% capacity at the 10-year mark. So you can look at the, I think they have a global warranty. This is a website. I'll paste it too in the notes. And to calculate, just use basic ratio. So advertised capacity energy, which is like I used 14 kilowatt, minus nominal full pack energy. In my case, it was 9.4 kilowatt, divided by advertised, and then 1 minus 100 multiply, gets the percentage, and mine was 67.6% remaining capacity. So that's how I got mine replaced. Yeah, it took quick, maybe 2 weeks. 2-3 weeks after initiating the request, and then they contacted contractors and everything was replaced. And yeah, this is the one you want to look: system status, nominal full pack energy. Yeah, and you can print a whole bunch of other metrics, but up to you. Yeah, and you can look into there are some dashboards, and you can do crazy things with the Powerwall. But in my case, I was just interested in getting this number. On the other hand, if you cannot make this work, like for some reason you're not tech savvy, you can always call Tesla and just ask, what's my remaining capacity of the battery? They would be required to tell you that information. I guess it's much easier, but what's fun in that, right? Calling somebody or emailing, if you can get the real number and play around and see what stats. Yeah, so use this pypowerwall and have fun. It's pretty powerful, yeah. And thanks to the open source community, everybody can look at their Powerwall. Yeah, and as I mentioned, for the connectivity, you see there is like local setup. That's what we used, option 1 in our config. And they're trying to add route to the Powerwall itself. But if you have mobile data on the Powerwall, it's going to be a nightmare to actually make it work. So just best to connect your Wi-Fi to the Powerwall. That's it, and then there is no other issues. But yeah, the drawback is, if you have to check, you can always have to switch between your Wi-Fi, normal Wi-Fi, and then TEG. And also, once you connect to the TEG, make sure you go to settings and unclick auto join. Otherwise, you reboot your laptop or something, and your laptop would auto join this TEG when you actually have to have the internet connection, so it's kind of annoying. Just unclick it, auto join, so it never joins by default when you reboot and stuff like that. And yeah, the other options I did not explore much because yeah, I was just wanted a quick and dirty option to get my data. Hopefully this helps and you can figure out your remaining capacity, and good luck. Yeah.